Hey everybody, Anthony here. Just wanted to do a quick daytime walkthrough of the carnival before I tear everything down. Start off with the big old banner, the 9x12 hand-painted banner that we put up every year, featuring strange people. That's us. One of the new additions this year was this game here. It was a last year we had this game, which was a knock 'em down game. We had some cans that we stacked up there and people threw bean bags on it, and there's a pumpkin that's rotted. Disgusting. But that was the knock 'em down game this year. We went bigger with it this year, and I built this 10x20 booth here with this game in the background there. And essentially what you do is just take the baseballs, and those little, each one of those targets back there is on a hinge and gets knocked over. Let's see if I can actually take some of these and let's see. Nope. Nope. Oh, crying out loud. There's one. I'll go ahead and take a little bit of a closer view of the knock 'em down game. These targets here are plywood targets. They're each one of them is decorated with kind of like those old paper cutout decorations we used to have when we were kids way back when. That I remember fondly putting those up every Halloween. Used to decorate the house with them, so it's kind of a little bit of an homage to that. Each one of these targets is just a plywood cutout and on a hinge. That's all there is to that. Stand right back up. So yeah, this is a fun game. Everybody really seemed to enjoy playing this game this year. It was different from all the other games from the previous years, because those games were reliant on just tossing, light tossing. And this one here, you could actually throw a ball as hard as you can to try to knock these things down. We'd give people like 5 balls and try to knock down 3 targets and win a prize. And so this was a fun game for everybody this year. They pleasantly surprised with this one, so it was a fun one to build too, and something I've been wanting to build for years. And if you got any more ideas for carnival games in the future, you know, comment below. I'm not sure what we're gonna build for next year, so let me know if you got any good ideas. So that's the new knock 'em down game there. This was a banner. My wife, Deanna, most people know her, she was the bearded lady this year. This was a custom made banner for us. It's a beautiful banner. That was a new thing for this year. And she was a fantastic bearded lady. We always like to try and incorporate some freaks into the carnival as well. A little bit of a freak show. This booth here that has a new game in it. This game here, this was a steel coffin that was given to me, and decided, instead of it being like a static prop, I was going to make a game out of it as well. I seem to want to just make games out of stuff. So I cut out a piece of plywood and cut all these little holes in there. And if anybody's wondering, there's actually about 170 holes cut out there. And if you're wondering even more, it takes about 2 days to cut that many holes. So anyway, the idea of this game is you take these wiffle balls, and I've seen these games at carnivals and at theme parks before, and toss the wiffle ball in there, and if it lands into one of the holes with a star, I almost got one, you win a prize. And all these games had carnies in them this year. The Stevens family, they came out and they helped out. Look at that. They came out and helped out, and they ran a lot of these booths. Sherry Ramsey helped, Mike Ramirez. They were amazing carnies. So anyway, this game here, it's a little difficult. But all these booths had carnies, and they did an amazing job. And I'm so thankful that they came out and brought this whole thing, the carnival, to life. So that's that game. This is another game that I've had for many years. The ring toss booth, and kind of just sort of added some more elements to the back side there. I've gotten this gory clothesline from Demented Designs at the Halloween and Haunt Fest show this year, or gordified it a little bit, give it a little bit more gore, and bloodied up the hands and feet real good. This is a bloody ring toss. I've had this forever. Essentially the ideal is here. This is a ring toss booth. You come up here and take these rings here, and these are actually old extension cords, if anybody's wondering, with black electrical tape that was wrapped around it. Anyway, these wings here, just a little toss. Try to ring the amputated hands and feet. And this is not easy to do when you have a phone in your hand. Yeah, there you go. Give myself a prize for that. Natalie Stevens ran this booth and she did an amazing job. I mean, they all did, but she was especially very, very good. All right, next thing, the Gypsy Boo fortune teller booth. We had my mother, Judith Jordan, she actually ran this booth this year. And this gazebo here is just an enclosed gazebo, and we dressed it up real nice. And this banner was also custom made for us this year. Put that out there, beautiful hand painted banner on canvas. So inside here, you go in here and it's all lit up real spooky like, and you go in there and she sat back there with her crystal ball and her tarot cards and her toy gun. I guess the kids left that out here. She had a whole bunch of little trinkets and some spell books that we made years ago, and a little crystal ball. And she actually took the time to learn how to read tarot cards. So she did that, read tarot cards for everybody that wanted to come in here and have their fortune told. So that was a really cool addition to the carnival. This is her second year doing it, and people love it. They really enjoy going to see her every year. She does a fantastic job with it. So I'm really appreciative of that. Our fortune teller. Coming around over here, we have our high striker. This is a homemade high striker. It is just over 15 foot tall. And just like last year, it needs to be repaired again. They sit there and they beat the crap out of it all night long with this 8-pound hickory head sledgehammer, and that's a real deal sledgehammer. That's no fake foam prop. That's an actual sledgehammer. And they beat the crap out of it all night long, and invariably at 2 years straight now, it's actually broken a bolt. Once the bolt breaks, it's done. So this year I'm gonna repair it, and I think I'm just gonna weld it on there instead of having to bolt it every year, replace bolts. But it is a working high striker. There's a bell, a red bell up there. And actually you can ring that bell, and you do actually have to put some effort into ringing that bell. You can't just go up there and just tap it and expect to ring that bell. You have to slug it. And so I guess this thing breaking every year is, a lot of it's my fault, because I'm encouraging people to have to go over there and smack it as hard as they can to get that thing to ring. But that's the way a high striker works. You gotta do that. So yeah, that's our high striker, and it's always a fun game. You know, big burly guys come out here and they want to prove their salt, and they come out there and smack it as hard as they can. Held up really nicely. It was just towards the end of the night that when it finally he gave out. Mike Ramirez, he sat there all night long, and he's natural born carny. That guy, he's just done an awesome job as carny for us with this game. I was thoroughly impressed. All right, moving on. Our ticket taker booth. It's just there's a animated prop in there. It's one of the first animated props I built years and years ago. It's a lighted sign up there. And this was our swaying ghoul that I built and posted on YouTube years ago. And he's still swinging away. That's what he does. Now he's our ticket taker. All those tickets in there, and he goes at it all night long. Just keeps going. He's never disappointed. Except the speed controller gave out on him this year, so he only goes at that one speed. That's just the low speed of the wiper motor. So I'm gonna have to get a new speed controller for him next year. I can slow him down a little bit, but he's still going at it. If anybody's wondering what the FLC stands for, I had nobody ask me this year. Last year somebody asked me, what does FLC stand for? Because this is the Hallows Eve Carnival, so it didn't make sense, but that's kind of an homage to our previous attraction that we did back here, which was called the Falling Leaves Cemetery. That's what we were prior to us being the Hallows Eve Carnival. We were actually a cemetery display, so put that on there as a little bit of an homage to the old the old cemetery we had back out here years and years ago. So yeah, ticket booth, lighted sign up there. Always a nice little addition to the backyard. This thing here, this is a new, the Great Frederick-Avillian Sinister Magic banner that was picked up in St. Louis at Transworld last year, and got that from Sinister Signs. And I like their signs. I got a couple of them. They look pretty neat, and that sort of fits the bill back here. This game here is it's not a new addition, but it was just an upgrade from what it was last year. It was Coffin Toss. I built a new banner, or I'm sorry, a new booth for it. Went with the origin black Halloween colored stripes. It's the old sign from last year. What it was last year was just a couple of toe pincher coffins you see there, with some holes cut out of it. And they would just take these bean bags here and just toss them into those holes. And the corpse in the middle there was just static, and that was the game. And in and of itself, it was a cool concept, a neat idea I liked, but it needed some more pizzazz, so decided to go ahead and change it up this year. So what I did is with Rollin Pickens, we built a scissor mech. So this corpse in the middle there is no longer static. He's now on a scissor mech, and every time the player would get one of the bean bags into either one of the coffins, into the holes of the coffin, they would activate the scissor mech, and the corpse would come flying out at them to the front of the booth. Now this is a 8-foot long booth from front to back, and that mech extends out 7 foot, and it's on the inside, so it actually came right to the front of the booth. The corpse did. So I'll show you how this worked. Basically just like that. And then the Carney, this booth was actually ran by Angie Stevens this year. She did a fantastic job as well. This Carney would activate the scissor mech, and the corpse would come flying out of the person. I don't have a trigger. Unfortunately this year that I didn't have a good trigger for this thing, so they had to be manually activated. Let me see if I can show you real quick. And that's where the player would be out front there, and you can see it's a scissor mech. It comes out of the the idea for this game this year. I think next year what I'll do is automate the whole thing, maybe get a nice controller like a Peekaboo, or a, Fry Props controller, maybe an Arduino or something, I don't know, and automate this whole thing, put some switches inside the coffins, and just automate the whole thing, so this thing just comes out on its own. Maybe add some sound to it, maybe a strobe, I don't know, something like that. So yeah, that was let me hop out of here real quick. Yeah, that was Coffin Toss this year, which was a fun little game. It was just neat to incorporate a pneumatic into a carnival game, so that was fun for me to do. Above Coffin Toss, you can see the Freaks Alive sign. That was my wife made that last year. That was from last year. Those letters are each 3 foot tall, and the span of that thing is just over 11 feet. It's a huge sign, and it's all lit up. Has lights on the inside of all of it, and it's pretty. You have to kind of stand back a little bit to get the full effect of it, but it's up there on the roof line, and really neat to have that big old sign like that looming over the backyard. Looms over the carnival, so that was a cool sign to have. Another sign that I made last year, the enter sign. When people came in from the back, they would actually just know to enter this way into the carnival. Another lighted sign. That one there's just, I think that's just foam. Yeah, that's just foam. I made that last year. This 10 by 20 carport here, I got some of these canvas here and painted stripes on them, and then made this into our sort of our buffet food booth kind of thing, and also had our fundraiser, or not our food drive peanut butter roundup stuff in there as well. Right now I'm in the middle of taking everything apart, but we had a whole bunch of tables lined up on the inside there, and it's all lit up in here, and just some old trinkets and everything that we had from previous years, and just sort of decorated the tables, and everybody would bring food and a whole bunch of good stuff and for everybody else to eat, and it was generous for them to bring all the food, and we always appreciate that because we just can't afford to feed over 100 people every year. This is another Sinister Signs banner that we got. I got that from Transworld 2015, 14, 15. I don't know. Popcorn machine. We always make popcorn every year, and that's a nice addition to the carnival. People love coming to the carnival and eating hot popcorn. There's a peanut butter roundup. Like I said, I'm tearing everything apart right now. Unfortunately, I didn't get a video of it, but I do have some pictures of it. We accumulated 112 total jars of peanut butter. That were all donated to the North Texas Food Bank, so thank you everybody for your generosity. It felt really good to take that out to them. Mayhem Midway sign. This has been a staple of the carnival for years. This is just over 12 feet wide. Stands, I don't know, 13 feet tall, 12 to 13 feet tall, something like that, with the corpsed clown sentinels at the top watching over the Midway. They sort of just look over the Midway and they look real sinister. So they're always really cool. And that's about it. We had a couple of people this year. Devin Hallman and his sister Amethyst, they came out. Amethyst has a snake collection, and she came out dressed up as a snake charmer, and she actually walked around the Midway with a 6 foot long boa. I think she said it was like a red-tailed boa or python. Correct me if I'm wrong, Amethyst. But it was really cool to have her walking around with a live snake freaking people out. That was awesome. And then her brother Devin, who has this really cool character named Gabriel, was going around, and he was sort of working the Midway, and he was freaking people out and doing his little character, and he was really awesome as well. Special thanks to Sherry Ramsey, the Stevens family, Mike Ramirez, Danny Miller and his wife Laura. They came out and helped out, and of course my wife Deanna. I appreciate all the time and effort that they put into helping me realize this carnival every year. It's a lot of work, but it's a lot of fun. People seem to enjoy coming out every year and experiencing it and playing, and like I said, it's very interactive, very hands-on. People get to touch everything as opposed to the old like graveyard displays we used to have. You don't touch anything, but this thing here is very interactive. You get to touch everything, and I think that's a good recipe for making a fun interactive Halloween attraction. So for what we're doing every year, this is I think we're just going to keep going forward with doing the carnival. We always seem to have a lot of fun with it. So yeah, that's a quick little tour of the Hallows Eve Carnivale line. Any questions or comments, you know, leave them at the below. And we will see you next year. Bye. Alright guys, I'm gonna attempt to take some nighttime video. I don't know how well this is gonna show up, and it doesn't look like it's gonna show up very well at all, but just get an idea of how everything is lit up at night. All these signs that we make, they do have working lights on them. There's the freak sign way up there. It's all lit up. Coffin Toss was a nice orangish color to it. The light on the Sinister Magic sign went out, so I guess I'll bring that out. Ticket taker going to town. Just barely see him. He has a light on the inside, but he is lit up. Let's see, Mayhem Midway sign lit up. That's a neat shot right there with the skulls and the moon in the background. Of course, the food booth all lit up. They took down the Hallows Eve banner, Hallows Eve Carnival banner. The High Striker has one light bulb still lit because if they sit there and smack it with a hammer all night long, it breaks all the filaments of all the incandescent bulbs. So I think I'm going to go LEDs on that sucker next year. This is the fortune teller booth. You can just barely see anything. Nice and dark and creepy in here. Over here is our ring toss booth, and you can just barely see that as well. Surprisingly dark on the video, but you can actually see things very well when you're actually here. There's our ring toss and all our gory stuff. This booth is relatively well lit. This is our casket with the I don't know what you call this game. I don't have a name for it. Just a bunch of holes. So the booth is actually pretty well lit. You can see it very well. Just not on the video. Come over here to our knock 'em down game, and I had one of those LED lights that screw into a standard socket, and it had a setting where it actually changes colors. My intention was to go ahead and just put it on one color, like that color right there that you can see real well, but it occurred to me that if you let it change colors, it made the game a little bit more difficult because it didn't allow for the user to actually aim very well. They couldn't keep a firm eye on the target. So skull and crossbone I made last year, and I didn't do anything with last year. It just sort of sat in the garage. It's backlit with some LEDs, and this whole game is actually backlit with some red light back there to make the target stand out pretty good. That's that. So yeah, it's the nighttime version of the Hallows Eve Carnivale that you can see absolutely nothing. I'm glad I showed you guys this.